Okay, this next topic is a lot trickier to talk about. And before I even get into it, I just want to tell you guys, I am a straight male. I'm going to be talking about a page called Pervs of Lebanon. So I'm going to be talking about sexual harassment. I might say something incredibly stupid. Do not hesitate to correct me in the comments, to educate me. Again, I'm going to be talking about something that I have almost no relation to. So if I say something stupid, if I say something offensive, please teach me the right way in the comments. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on what I'm about to talk about. I'm in no way trying to offend or to belittle anything that has to do with sexual harassment. This is my podcast. I want to test the limits of what I can talk about. And I don't know, I don't want to shy away from any topic, even if it's a little bit scary to talk about, or even if I am not prepared with all of the information, because I can count on you guys to help me and to help correct me and to help inform me if I'm completely off base. And just as a heads up, I'm not trying to discredit Pervs of Lebanon because there's like an accusation of me that's like gonna surface or anything. I've been a good boy. I've always been a good boy. I ain't worried about that. So that ain't the case. With that said, there is a page on Instagram called Pervs of Lebanon. It was established, I'm guessing, a few months ago. And what they do is they expose like sexual harassers, potential rapists, people with a sketchy past who have done something horrible to someone, and they expose them on Instagram. Now, do I think that that is a good solution or a bad solution? This is what we're kind of going to talk about because it's a complicated issue. It's not black or white. I don't think it's as simple as saying you're either for it or you're either against it. I think that a page like this is a necessary evil. And I think that it is unfortunately, it is an indictment on the Lebanese government, and it is an indictment on the Lebanese justice system that we even need a page like that to exist. Because if we were in a normal country where women's or even men's reports of sexual assault were taken seriously, people would not need to turn to Instagram. So on one end, I completely understand. We live in Lebanon. We're in the Middle East. I'm sure women get harassed on a daily basis, and there must be many reasons for them to fear coming forward. Let's just use in the US, for example, a country where women feel a lot safer coming forward with allegations of sexual harassment. Even in a country like the US, a lot of women just don't feel comfortable sharing these stories. There's some stigma around it. They might be traumatized. It's just not something that's easy to talk about, and they're worried that if they talk to the authorities, that the authorities are not going to take their claims seriously. Well, it's way worse in Lebanon. The social stigma is so much worse. The way we think about women and the way we objectify women and they need to be pure or whatever, completely backwards and archaic. But that's kind of how it is here. So already, if you're a woman and you get sexually harassed, I don't even feel like you want to bring that up with anyone you know or with your family. Secondly, I feel that if you even if you go to the authorities, they're going to ask all the wrong questions and they're going to victim shame the women. What were you wearing? Were you drinking? Etc., etc. Types of questions that you should not be asking someone. I feel like this is what our Lebanese police would do. So you're completely discouraging people from going to the traditional routes and trying to get justice in the correct way. So where does that leave us? That brings a page like Pervs of Lebanon, who are doing the work that honestly police should be doing. So in that sense, I think this page is important because it gives a voice to the voiceless. It highlights people, dangerous people in our society that we need to be wary of, that we need to know about. So I can't argue why this page exists. I understand why it exists. Because our government is not present and because we have no law enforcement present to take care of these things. So what are people supposed to do? They turn to a page like Pervs of Lebanon. But in my opinion, it should be a temporary solution. This cannot be the way we condemn and we catch harassers. And I'm sure whoever runs the page knows that. This can't be how we do things forever because, let's face it, the Lebanese government and Lebanon in general as a country is only getting worse. All public services are going to get worse. So eventually, are we going to have Instagram pages for police work? Are we going to have Instagram pages? Like, I don't know. I don't know how far it's going to go. Secondly, my main fear and my main concern with a page like Pervs of Lebanon is the power that we're seemingly giving look, I don't even know who runs this account. If it's one person, if it's two people, if it's three people. Let's say it's one person. If I've learned anything as a Lebanese person is that everyone is corruptible and power corrupts people. Do we want to give so much power, the power to ruin someone's lives? And here, by the way, I'm not here to defend any of the accused rapists on the page. Fuck them. And I don't want this video to be used as like an anti-Pervs of Lebanon video or me defending any of the perverts on there. Fuck no. I don't want nothing to do with y'all. I'm just talking sort of big picture. Do we want to give so much power to some unknown person who might... What if a friend of that person gets accused of sexual harassment? Do we trust the person who's running that account to accuse the person? What if the person who's running the account really doesn't like gets accused of sexual harassment? Does that make the person running the account more likely to accuse that person? Do we think that openly exposing these people on Instagram, sometimes some of these people have children, they have wives, they have, people in their families. Should a kid be at school and like have one of their friends walk up to them and be like, hey, your dad's a rapist? Like, whoa, what the fuck? Yeah, I saw it on Instagram. I don't think that's the way we want to go about it. But again, I understand why we're in this position. Pervs of Lebanon would not exist if there wasn't a vacancy left by the government. So I get it. But is it the right thing to do? And I also think it seems like whoever's running the page tends to do some slightly immature things. Like, for example, I was looking through one of the accusations, and it's some guy who's sending a bunch of creepy DMs. The accused person's brother then reaches out to Pervs of Lebanon and says, hey, my brother was hacked. Obviously, it's bullshit. But then Pervs of Lebanon, kind of makes fun of the guy's brother. I don't think that's necessary. Go after the guy. Don't go after the guy's brother. And you shouldn't be making jokes. You shouldn't be making memes out of the stuff. It's bad enough that we need an Instagram page to do this stuff. Try to avoid being comedic. Try to avoid being snarky. Try to avoid being funny, because this is a serious situation. And you're ruining people's lives. People who have done horrible things and who maybe deserve to have their lives ruined. But don't take joy in it. And I also find it weird that there are some people accused of legit physical harassment and rape and stuff, but you're lumping in people who send a bunch of creepy direct messages. And again, I'm not trying to defend anything that they do, but there is a difference between rape, physical sexual harassment, and sending someone a horribly distasteful DM. And now I know it starts with a DM, and maybe that person could take it further and it could lead to physical harassment. I know, I'm not arguing that fact. I'm just trying to put all my ideas out there. What I'm trying to say is that I don't have a simple answer. I can't sit here and tell you that Pervs of Lebanon is a good thing or a bad thing. I think they do a lot of good, and unfortunately we need them right now. But I also think it should be a temporary solution while we try to work on something better behind the scenes. I would hope that whoever's running that page is working on a more long-term solution. From a guy who was uneducated on the subject, what makes sense to me is to maybe form some kind of NGO, some kind of association that trains Lebanese police officers on how to handle cases of sexual harassment. If a lady walks into a police office and wants to report something, teach them what to ask, what not to ask, how to treat these women with respect and make them feel comfortable and make them feel safe in sharing their stories. That way we can encourage people to follow the legal and the, more open way of trying to get justice. Is that very optimistic of me and naive? Probably. And again, I'm not defending any of the creeps on that page. I'm just trying to have a discussion. I would love to hear what you guys think. Please leave your comments. What do you think about Pervs of Lebanon as a page? Do you think there's something they could do better? Do you think... Honestly, it's a vigilante page. It's like a superhero just on Instagram, And while I sell comic books, I got comic book tattoos all over me. No one loves a superhero more than me, and no one likes a vigilante more than me. But this is real life, and there are real consequences. So I'm just always afraid in giving someone so much absolute power, and I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think, honestly.
Do not worry.